Hello, I'm Dr. James. Today, I want to talk about something many people often dismiss as just getting older: leg weakness. Do you know that it's not simply a sign of age, but a quiet signal that something more serious might be happening? Research published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy indicates that muscle loss affects around 30% of seniors over 70, significantly increasing their risk of falls and dependency. Ignoring this issue can lead to a loss of mobility, dangerous falls, and even complete reliance on others. But what if I told you that this situation can be reversed, even in advanced age? Yes, regardless of your age, anything is possible for those who believe. Today, you'll hear the inspiring story of Beatrice, a woman who, after going through the toughest period of her life, discovered extremely effective, scientifically backed habits that were simple to incorporate into her daily routine. These habits helped her overcome leg weakness and regain energy she thought was lost forever. If you or someone you love is facing similar difficulties, don't miss a single detail of this special story. It might just be the key to transforming your life. Beatrice had always been the rock of her family. For many years, she dedicated herself to caring for her children and then her grandchildren, always with a smile and enviable energy. She was the one who hosted Sunday lunches, made sure to cook everyone's favorite dishes, and kept her garden in immaculate condition, full of flowers and herbs she grew herself. But over time, Beatrice began to notice changes. Even simple tasks, like watering the garden or sweeping the yard, started to demand an effort she hadn't noticed before. Climbing the few steps to the porch became a challenge, and the legs that once carried her everywhere began to fail her. At first, she tried to ignore it, thinking it was just age and such changes were normal. After all, everyone said, aging is natural. Yet, deep down, Beatrice felt something wasn't right. This constant feeling of fatigue and loss of strength in her legs began to limit her daily life. Gradually, she stopped tending to her garden, stopped walking to the bakery, and even avoided family lunches, fearing the difficulties of getting around. Then, one morning, as she tried to get out of bed, her legs suddenly gave way. Frightened and confused, she realized she could no longer ignore the problem. "Is this how my life is going to be now?" she thought, tears in her eyes. This became her turning point. Beatrice, always a determined woman, decided she would not allow herself to live with limitations. She knew she needed help, and with that decision, a new journey began. A journey that would change not only her life, but also how she perceived aging and her own strength. After that incident where her legs buckled as she tried to get out of bed, Beatrice understood she could no longer ignore what was happening. Her granddaughter, always attentive and caring, insisted, "Grandma, we need to see a doctor. This can't continue." Reluctantly, but realizing she genuinely needed help, Beatrice agreed. At the appointment, the doctor listened carefully as she described her symptoms. After examinations and a frank conversation, he explained, "Beatrice, what you're experiencing is a result of a combination of factors. Loss of leg strength is common with age, but that doesn't mean you have to accept it," he continued, emphasizing that regular exercise and proper nutrition could change everything. Studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that regular physical activity and a diet rich in antioxidants can reduce muscle inflammation and improve mobility by up to 25% in older adults. Over time, you can restore a significant portion of your muscle strength and improve mobility, he said, offering practical recommendations: light walks, muscle strengthening exercises, and a diet rich in anti-inflammatory and antioxidant substances. Though still worried, Beatrice left the doctor's office with a sense of relief and a challenge. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was ready to try. That same week, While still processing the doctor's recommendations, Beatrice received a visit from an old friend. During their conversation, she mentioned her recent difficulties and her doctor's visit. Her friend, always passionate about natural methods, shared a secret her grandmother had passed down to her, a recipe known as the elixir of life. "It's a special blend my grandmother used during periods of weakness," her friend explained. "I've made it myself a few times and felt the effect. But it's an unusual recipe. You'll need special ingredients." Intrigued, Beatrice asked for the list. Her friend elaborated. "You'll need 1 spoonful of Peruvian maca powder, half a spoonful of ashwagandha, crushed fresh pomegranate seeds, natural coconut water, and finally, a few drops of myrrh essential oil. You can find it in natural health stores. Mix everything in warm water, blend until smooth, and drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach." Intrigued, Beatrice decided to try it. The aroma of the elixir was exotic and rich, and with her first sip, she tasted a unique and complex flavor, as if she were drinking something truly special. She didn't yet know that this recipe, combined with her new habits, would be the start of a transformation she would never forget. A study conducted by Stanford University demonstrated that simple measures, such as dietary changes and light physical exercise, can improve functional abilities in older adults by up to 40% in just 2 months. In the following days, Beatrice incorporated the elixir of life into her morning routine. With each sip, she felt not only the rich taste, but also a warmth and surge of energy she hadn't felt in a long time. However, she understood that the elixir alone wasn't enough. She needed to follow the doctor's recommendations and take small steps toward recovery. With her granddaughter's support, she began taking light walks around the yard. In the beginning, her movements were slow and uncertain, with her legs trembling with each step, as if testing the strength that seemed to lie dormant within. However, her persistence began to bear fruit. After a few weeks, the frequent pauses disappeared, and Beatrice noticed something amazing. The walks no longer seemed so exhausting. Furthermore, she observed subtle but significant changes in her body. The constant joint pains began to subside, and the fatigue, previously so familiar, gave way to renewed vigor. She also started sleeping better, something that hadn't happened in years. "Is this really true?" she wondered, looking at her stronger hands as she leaned on the porch railing. One day, during a follow-up appointment, the doctor noticed the difference. "Beatrice, the results are evident. Keep up the good work. Your body is responding excellently," he said enthusiastically. He explained that this combination of healthy habits was strengthening her muscular system and fighting inflammation, 2 key factors in her recovery. Research published in the journal Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity confirms what Beatrice was experiencing. The use of natural ingredients like Peruvian maca and ashwagandha, combined with regular physical exercise, can significantly improve muscle strength and quality of life in older adults. Every day became a new victory for Beatrice. Her routine, once filled with limitations, now included small moments of triumph. She resumed gardening, albeit with caution, and started cooking her favorite recipes again, surprising her granddaughter with pies and juices she hadn't made in years. In addition to the elixir of life, Beatrice began to perform one simple but extraordinarily effective exercise recommended by her doctor to strengthen her leg muscles: the calf raise. For this, she lightly held onto the back of a chair, lifted her heels off the floor, and balanced only on the balls of her feet. She slowly repeated this movement until she felt her calf muscles working. At first, the exercise seemed difficult, but over time, she felt her legs becoming stronger and her movements more confident. "It feels like my muscles are waking up again," she would say, delighted with the results. Studies published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity proved that exercises like calf raises help increase muscle strength in older adults, improving stability and reducing the risk of falls by up to 25%. This habit became an important part of Beatrice's routine, and within a few weeks she could perform more repetitions without difficulty. Beatrice also added another beneficial practice to her routine: marching in place. Standing barefoot on a soft mat, she alternately lifted her knees, as if marching, gently holding onto the back of a chair for balance. This movement, though simple, proved to be extremely effective for strengthening thigh muscles and improving coordination. Initially, she exercised for just 1 minute, but over time she gradually increased the duration and intensity. "I feel like my legs are coming back to life," she would say with a smile, observing her progress. Research published in the Journal of Gerontology and Geriatric Medicine confirms that exercises focusing on balance and functional mobility, such as marching in place, can increase muscle strength by up to 20% in older adults, as well as reduce the risk of falls and boost confidence in movement. This habit, combined with the others, began to change not only Beatrice's mobility, but also her state of mind. She realized that every small effort throughout the day was a victory, and that she was recovering not only physical strength, but also her independence. Beatrice also began performing another simple but remarkably effective exercise: chair stands without using her hands. On her granddaughter's advice, she placed a sturdy chair in the center of the room, slowly sat down, and immediately stood up. At first, she could barely complete 5 repetitions without feeling her legs shake, but that didn't stop her. She knew each repetition was a step toward regaining the strength she thought she'd lost. Over the weeks, Beatrice was able to gradually increase the number of repetitions, and the improvements became noticeable. "I used to barely be able to get out of a chair without help, and now I can do it many times," she said with pride. Research published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science shows that chair stand exercises are among the most recommended for older adults. They strengthen the thigh and gluteal muscles, which are essential for mobility, and can improve functional abilities by up to 30% in just a few months of regular practice. In addition to exercises, Beatrice began to include foods rich in magnesium and potassium in her diet, such as pumpkin seeds and bananas. These nutrients are vital for muscle health, helping to reduce cramps and improve physical performance. Her granddaughter lovingly prepared vibrant salads and natural juices, which were not only healthy, but also delicious and refreshing. Gradually, Beatrice's transformation began to affect not only her body, but also her self-confidence and quality of life. One day, while walking in the yard, she realized she could carry a small bucket of water to water a plant, something that had seemed impossible until recently. It was at this moment that she fully and confidently realized she was becoming the Beatrice she once was, determined and independent again. As the months passed, Beatrice not only regained strength in her legs, but also recovered what seemed lost: her autonomy. What once seemed impossible now became part of her daily life. Walks that were once short and tiring turned into longer strolls, where she enjoyed the cool air and the joy of moving freely without fear of falling. Her family was amazed by the changes that had occurred. Her daughter, with tears in her eyes, said at dinner, "Mom, you are stronger than ever." Her grandchildren, who used to worry about their grandmother struggling to participate in activities, now saw her energetic, tending to her garden, and even organizing small gatherings with friends, just like in the good old days. Beatrice knew that her recovery was not a miracle, but the result of a combination of small changes, daily dedication, and above all, faith. She believed it was possible. She believed her life could change. And it was this unwavering belief that sustained her through difficult moments. For her, faith was not just expectation, It was about believing, acting, and trusting the process, even when the difficulties seemed greater than the solution. The elixir of life, the exercises, and the nutrient-rich diet not only restored her physical strength, but also gave new meaning to her daily life. She was no longer a prisoner of age-related frailty, but a woman who found the key to a full and energetic life. All because, first and foremost, she believed it was possible. Looking back, Beatrice understood. The journey of overcoming challenges has no end. It's a daily victory, again and again. And the main secret to everything is faith. Faith that it's never too late to start over, and that the strength to achieve any goal lives within each of us. We just need to believe and take the first step. We've reached the end of this beautiful story of overcoming and change. If you've read this far and enjoyed what Beatrice taught you, please share in the comments the phrase, "One day at a time and every day with faith," and rate this story from 0 to 10. Beatrice's story is not just a physical transformation. It's a testament to the power of faith, persistence, and the unwavering conviction that it's never too late to make a change. Her journey teaches us that regardless of age, any obstacle can be overcome if we believe, if we trust in our inner strength, and if we take control of our lives with determination. If you also believe that leg weakness is not a sentence, but a challenge that can be overcome, and you want to learn more about proven ways to maintain an active life at any age, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our new stories and tips. Are you ready to believe that you can change your life? Beatrice's path is proof that when we believe above all else, there are no limits to what we can achieve. The first step begins with belief, and the second with action. God bless you.